Ladies and gentlemen, today is October 12, 2025. Let's get into the morning report. Today, October 12, 2025, NPR's reporting focused heavily on a government shutdown, the unfolding ceasefire in the Middle East, and President Trump's tariff threats against China. The death of Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton was also reported. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the U.S. politics section of the morning report. A government partial shutdown continues due to a dispute in Congress over extending Affordable Care Act tax credits. Democrats insist on extending the credits before open enrollment begins on November 1. Republicans argue there is no rush since the credits do not expire until December. Trump has signaled a threat to impose a 100% tariff on Chinese imports, prompting China to vow it will not back down. In response to Trump's tariff threat, China's Commerce Ministry referenced new U.S. export controls and port fees on Chinese ships. China, the turn, announced it would impose its own port fees on American ships. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the Middle East. Preparations are underway to ramp up humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip following a new ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Negotiations for the release of Israeli hostages held in Gaza and Palestinian prisoners held in Israel are progressing under the agreement. Officials expect about 600 aid trucks per day to enter Gaza under the agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the U.S. news. Authorities have confirmed that in a Tennessee explosion at a factory, a blast at a rural Tennessee explosives factory on Friday left 16 people dead and no survivors. 4 people were killed and 12 injured in a shooting that took place late Friday after a high school homecoming game in Leland, Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into culture and arbitraries. Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton, known for her roles in Annie Hall and The Godfather has died at the age of 79. Weekend Edition featured for Sunday, today, its regular puzzle segment hosted by Will Shorts. The weekly and satire and music program, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, hosted by Harry Shearer, included segments on AI, the government shutdown, and the host of Living.